Hello everybody, Smyrna Cowboy here. How y'all doing today? Today is November the 16th, 2019 at 3:06 in the afternoon. I wanted to do this vlog here. If some of you do not follow me on Facebook, we have had a sort of a crisis in the Netherton family. My brother Jim, he's my older brother, and he's the one that rides the Harley Davidson, but please don't fault him for that. I'm just kidding. He's been in a lot of videos of mine. Me and him riding together, going to Buster's and going to a distillery tours and such as that. But we've had an incident, not really an incident, just some health issues with my brother. And I said that I would post the long version, which is going to be this one, because if I posted the long version on Facebook, I would be having rider's cramp or carpal tunnel for a while. So every November, on the anniversary of his wife's death, on Sally's death, him and a bunch of his buddies go to the mountains and hang out and have fellowship and everything. And so this year he decided to go to Georgia, somewhere in Georgia. He told me the city. I'm not sure. It's just right across the state line. And so he went up to the mountains there, and they had their little trip. And so when he got back, he was noticing that he had a lot of fluid built up on his legs and just short out of breath, just being out of breath, just walking, 10 foot to the kitchen. So he decided to go to the doctor. His primary care physician, they ran an EKG on him, and it showed that he had some type of AFib. What AFib is, it's not a regulated heartbeat. It'll race for 5 or 10 seconds. Sorry about the brake noise. 5 or 10 seconds and then go back to the normal rate. So he told Jim that you need to go to the emergency room now at St. Thomas Rutherford, and I'm going to call an ambulance for you. So being my brother Jim, he says, no, I'll drive there myself. So go figure that. So he did, and this was on Tuesday, and my wife got the message that he was in the emergency room at St. Thomas Rutherford in Murfreesboro, and I was already in Murfreesboro. Okay. So I went up there to see him, and he had a lot of fluid build up on his on his legs and his chest and everything. So they started to give him Lasix and warfarin, not warfarin, but it's another type of heparin. That's what it is, heparin. To thin his heart to make sure he didn't have a clot. So they took him for a CT scan, and it showed no type of clots or anything. So that was good. But and then when they put him on Lasix, his urinary output was still almost nil. So what they determined that his kidneys are starting to shut down. So being that he had AFib, they decided to transfer him to St. Thomas West. It's in Nashville. And they specialize in heart maladies of the heart and everything. So when they got him to St. Thomas West, they put him in the cardiac intensive care unit, and he still hasn't put out any type of urinary output. So the way his heart was, they put him on a long dialysis, which is continuous dialysis, slowly for a longer period of time. So he is now in intensive care at St. Thomas. So we went to go visit him Friday, and he seems like he was in good spirits and everything else. So I went to go visit him today, and the prognosis, well, not the prognosis, but his urinary output is coming back. He's expending a lot of urine and everything, and through the dialysis and the diuretics. So they wanted to try to get his heart rhythm back, so they shocked him 3 times. It went back in a regular heart rhythm for about 5 minutes, not that long, about maybe 30 seconds, and then went directly to AFib. So they just shocked him 3 times because they didn't want to put any more strain on his heart. So they're trying to control that with medications and his IV, which his AFib is going down, his heart rate's going down. But they've determined that his heart muscles are so weak, and with all that fluid buildup, that's going against him. So last night they did a scope on him, went down his throat and try to look at his heart, and they found out that one of his valves were leaking, probably on one of the ventricle, the top of his heart, and found out one of those were leaking. Well, that doesn't concern them that much right now, so they just want to get his AFib down and get all that fluid build up out from his body. Well, when I visited him today, he was in good spirits, and a lot of urine. They got out a lot of urine and stuff, so he's doing better. So his kidneys are starting to function now. And so now he is eating solid food, which is a good sign. So that's really about it right now, and I've asked for thoughts and prayers for my brother. He's a good man, even though he does like to rib me about my scoot, but when we go out for a ride, he's one of the first ones that wants to go with me to to watch my back, as older brothers do. We can joke about each other like that, but don't let anybody cut down my scoot. He's right there to defend me. So I'd like to ask you guys and gals on YouTube here for your continuous thoughts and prayers for my brother. Because he's a good man, and what I truly believe, that ever since Sally passed away, that his zest of life has deteriorated over the years. It's been 4 years since Sally passed. And the last ride that me and him went on, his reflex actions are so not as good as they once were. He almost plowed right into the back of a truck that was stopped. So he finally decided to give up riding altogether, which it was time for him, so I can understand that. But he said he wanted to sell it. I was going to go over and take pictures, make posters and stuff, and he always put it off, and then finally I asked him again when I saw him in the emergency room on that Tuesday, and he said, it's not taking up any space in the garage. It ain't doing nobody no harm, so we'll just leave it there. And I think he wants to keep it for memories and posterity's sake, so we're just going to let it go at that. So knowing my brother, it's going to sit there until he goes. But that's just the way he is. Can't blame the man for that. But I just wanted to do a video here to let you know about his condition and to ask you for your thoughts and your well wishes and prayers for him. I totally believe in the power of prayer and all the positive energy and well wishes for my brother's recovery. So I guess that's about it. That's all I got. You know how I love parking lots, but I just wanted to ride around here close, just like that. Excellent. And that's how you do it. Gotta love them. They do keep you on your toes. Excuse me. So this is a Smyrna Cowboy here in Smyrna, Tennessee, wishing you and yours a good day. And until next time, adios.